Hey, it's Soul, and this is the Word of Warcraft, where I talk a little bit about WoW topics, and most importantly, what is going on in the 7.3 patch that's going to come in. Well, I don't know when it's going to come, but I'm going to be talking about it. So there was a certain interview that was done with Jesse Cox as well as Wowcrendor. They interviewed Ion Hazzikostas in a half-hour or so Q&A, which is really cool. I think it's really cool that fans, the fandom is able to reach out and get in touch with the man himself, and be available to answer questions. And well, let me just cut to it. There are certain bullet points that came from the 7.3 initial announcement, and I'm going to talk about one of them, which are invasion points, a new type of replayable content that lets you fight the Legion on multiple different worlds. And Crendor, he did ask about that in the interview. He asked a certain question, and I'm looking at MMO Champion for the quick summary, and I do recommend watching this Q&A. It's pretty short. It's only about half an hour. There's kind of a bit of banter here and there, and some side talk, but it's definitely worth watching. But anyway, let me read what MMO Champion had paraphrased. He says it says that on Argus, we find a Legion portal network that allows the Legion to assault other worlds. You go through these portals to Rift worlds using Rift stones from Kil'jaeden's ship, allowing you to get a glimpse of all new planets around the cosmos. You clear out the Legion invasion force, fight a boss, do an event, and complete an objective there. This provides some variation to Argus and allows us to see some different settings. Now, when I first saw this line, my first thought was, crap. I can see the reaction from the fandom now, or the reaction from critics. It's, oh my god, one more thing to lift from Diablo 3. It's so uninspiring, uninspiring, unoriginal, blah blah blah, whatever. And my reaction to that is, okay, I kind of feel that. It's just kind of one more thing that's being lifted from Diablo 3 into Warcraft. But of course, in the context of this and the kind of setting that's being set here, does this make sense? And so far, I think it does make sense. I mean, just like Ian says in the interview, the Legion isn't just a spear that's pointed straight at Azeroth and it's trying to stab it right through. It's this huge intergalactic network of invaders that are going all over the place, tearing shit up. And in this case, the Legion is sending everything that they've got against Azeroth, but they probably don't have to send everything that they've got to, Podunk world over like a billion miles away. So in that case, the context of setting up these stones to kind of jump from place to place, I think that provides a really cool way to distract players from what would otherwise just be Broken Sword Part 2, which is another argument that a lot of players are harping against with regards to Argus. It's like, oh, it's more this Broken Shore shit. It's more this dead, green, whatever. And the Riftstone, the Rifts or Greater Rifts or whatever they're going to be called, they're going to provide opportunities to go to other places. Ian had said in the interview that you might go into a lush jungle world or a fiery volcanic kind of world. So it provides different kinds of settings, and it gives the art team pretty much free reign as to where you could possibly go. Now, with that said, you got to wonder, well, just how much resource is going into these kinds of rift stones and these different locales. We wouldn't want that much time to be used up there when it could be used elsewhere, because that's something that excuse me, that's something that is always on developers' minds when it comes to creating environments and creating settings or anything like that. Because you have to think, well, are the players going to be enjoying this? How much time and resources should we put into it? So the other part that I'm getting from this is, well, this whole idea of riftstones, this seems to be kind of a test bed, like so many other things. This is a piece of kind of new tech, or at least a new design approach, or what I would call a content platform that Blizzard can possibly build upon. Now, during another part in this interview, and I'm mostly talking about this whole rift stuff, but one of the things that they talked about in the interview is with regards to the Chromie scenario and how that possibly ties into future World of Warcraft content. Paraphrasing from MMO Champion again, they say that it seems very likely we'll have more dragon story in the future. Certainly when you are level 112, as you'll learn in the Chromie scenario, dragons are going to be very important. Now, with regards to at least that, I mean, we don't know exactly for sure what, of course, this is going to entail, but at least my knee-jerk reaction, you know, just name-dropping Chromie, that means, you know, the infinite dragon flight, that means time walking, that means possibly small glimpses into the past, into the future, and so on and so forth. Rifts. This is another thing that can tie into future content, another expansion or so, where there might be multiple rifts that players will jump into in order to defeat certain enemies and so on and so forth. Now, in the interview itself, Ian went just a teeny tiny bit into what these rifts are. You go inside, there's a bunch of bad guys, you kill them, there's a main guy, you take that guy out, and supposedly, I guess it depends on the kind of rift that you go into, maybe you try to escape and you're supposed to kind of hold out for a little while I don't know, a chopper comes to pick you up. I don't know what the fuck it's going to be. But it's going to be kind of like short scenarios like that. And presumably they're going to come in the form of world quests where you just go here, there's a rift opening. Illidan says, hey, let's go to this world, because this is supposed to be quest content that's spearheaded by Illidan and the Illidari, who are trying to stop the Legion at every front. So jumping, you know, the mechanics of jumping into these different rifts with these rift stones, it's pretty interesting. I mean, part of me does think that it's a bit too much of a lift from the Diablo 3 rift and greater rift stones, that sort of thing. It's something that a lot of players may be familiar with and maybe able to easily understand, but what actually goes into it is very different. It's not like we're going in there and we're trying to beat it, you know, we're not trying to beat a certain time, or we're not going to get gems at the end, we're going to get something else. So fundamentally it's going to be different, but the naming conventions are going to be the same. So it does make me feel like, oh, it's a little bit cringeworthy there. I know that there's only so many different kinds of terms that you can use, but well, it probably gives, it probably has a sour taste among critics of Diablo 3, and especially how things have been lifted from there to the World of Warcraft. But regarding this mechanic itself, rift stones, greater rifts, jumping into different locales for for short scenarios or short experiences, is this going to be good for the game, or is this something that we're going to care about? Probably. I mean, it's really going to depend on like the reward structure that's going to be linked to it. If it's going to be just something that is like kind of world quest related, I think it's not going to be a very high impact sort of thing. If that's the case, it's just going to be like, oh, hey, it's a Warden Tower is up right now, or hey, it's the lay race, let's go ahead and do that, or hey, it's a rift, let's jump right in. It sounds like these are meant to be a little bit special, because supposedly we're going to be using special items to just access this content in the first place, but it sounds like it's going to be relatively low impact. It's going to have some lore tied into it. I'm sure that during this whole Argus experience, we're going to get a quest during some week of this Argus campaign where we have to jump into five different rift stones and stop the Legion from destroying such and such world. I'm sure we're going to get something like that. But what do you guys think? Do you think this is going to be a cool feature? Do you give a shit? Do you think this is like something that, can you not get over the whole Diablo 3 to WoW conversion? Or is this something that you're really looking forward to, and you think that, hey, you know what, if this idea works in one area, it worked in WoW because, hey, Blizzard does that freaking all the time, but they do it in their way, and they do it pretty well. So please feel free to share your thoughts. As always, like and sub to support the channel, because I love doing what I'm doing, and I don't want to stop. I'll see you guys for the next video. I'm Soul. Stay breezy, guys. That stutter. I caught the stutter.